Hello, welcome to When Legends Talk, a book by the legend of Savage Machine, the original Mexican metal band from Northern California. Just a word of caution, this book contains topics and scenarios that may be triggering to some people. Discretion advised. Chapter 13, Rokero. Mom's family was hardcore Catholics. Grandma, Mom's mom, would often fall asleep with the rosary beads in her hand. Two of my mom's older brothers had been ordained as priests, and being that mom married a man who was also staunch Catholic, it was inevitable that we would be raised that way as well. During one of those trips to Mexico, stepdad bought an acoustic guitar in Paracho, which is renowned for handmade acoustic guitars. When we returned, he utilized that guitar to learn to play with the intention to join the church choir. My mom joined the choir as a singer as well, and I became an altar boy. Our house would later become the meeting place for choir practice, and I enjoyed it because I would watch the guitarists play and would try to mimic them after practice. That led to me learning to play the guitar, and I too joined the choir. Now a teenager, I volunteered with local groups that helped elderly people join the choir on guitar and vocals. Our family became the choir. We performed on almost every occasion, including holidays, weddings, baptisms, special events, all free of charge. I also joined the youth group and I would attend weekend retreats sponsored by our church. I even went to Denver with our local youth group because the Pope was coming to Denver. We all walked for hours and camped out in areas that were designated for the pilgrimage where we had different activities and functions, and I got to sing an original song for the crowd. On the way back, we walked for several miles to the designated area where buses were waiting for us. I boarded the bus with my friend and don't remember much after that. I'm told that after we sat down in the bus, I dropped an apple that I was holding, and my friend looked over at me, but I was already unconscious. He called out to adults nearby. They pulled me out of the bus, and paramedics stuck me in the neck with a needle. I remember hearing lots of screaming and crying. I thought it was just a nightmare like I would normally have. The next I know, I woke up in a wheelchair at a hospital and a man holding out a phone telling me that it was my mom on the phone. I don't even remember the conversation. One of the adults told me later that I had a heat stroke. Spoiler, I survived. Didn't see that coming, did ya? Some of the retreats I attended were done at our local parish by traveling groups. During one of these retreats, I met a priest who invited me to join this volunteer program in Mexico, so I did. I went to northern Mexico and stayed at their rectory where another teen also lived with the priest. He would travel to remote areas in the mountains via his truck. Sometimes the road was too rough, so we had to walk part of the way. Upon arrival, the priest would perform a mass and sometimes a wedding for people under 15 years old, not uncommon in highly remote areas of Mexico such as these. We planned and executed events for the locals and for kids with activities, lectures, and kid games about the Bible and such. The teen boy who lived in the rectory with the priest liked the girl in the town where I was staying. He confessed his love for her in such a way that it sounded like a song. Just the following day, I met the girl who he spoke about, and I was like, she's okay. I'm just kidding. Uh, she too confessed her feelings toward the boy and asked me to deliver a message to him, so I did. It was like an old school rom com movie happening in real life until the priest caught wind of what was happening. Come to find out that they planned the whole thing as a test, and I fell for it completely. The priest said I was not the type of person to be trusted and that I was there for the wrong reasons. I thought that was chicken shit and argued profusely, asking what the point of that test was other than to entrap me and make me feel guilty for believing and helping people to find love. As punishment for my deceit to God, I had to spend the rest of the day scrubbing the entire bathroom top to bottom with a toothbrush. The priest would come check on me periodically and bring me water since I was sweating profusely due to the heat levels. The following day, we went to a cathedral in a nearby city. Well, I got dropped off there. I was shown into a large room with tons of books for quite a while, so I got nosy and started checking out some of the books. I found a book about demonology where I learned about some of the oldest recorded incidents of demonic possessions and the demons' names, including Asmodee. We'll come back to this. But a priest came out and we talked for a while. I asked many questions regarding clarification on stories about the Bible and all, but I was told that I had to take it on faith. For instance, if we are children of Adam and Eve, are we not all related? If we're all related, why is it you can't marry your cousin? If God destroyed the earth with a flood and only Noah survived, are we all descendants of Noah? There are thousands of animals and plants and species on earth. How did he fit them all in that boat? How did he get them to go onto that boat? How did they get how did they not get hungry and eat each other? If so many people pray so much every day, how can he hear your prayer? How does he grant prayers to some people and not to others? If he's all powerful, why not just eliminate evil? Hours later, the priest returned to pick me up, and I was taken to the airport. I returned more confused than ever, but I was doing everything I could possibly think of to please my mom because of all she had done for me. I was good at it, but no matter how hard I tried, it was just not in my heart. When I was in middle school, I learned about weight training and wrestling. It seemed that wrestling came natural to me, so I joined the school team. I went on to win many medals in tournaments. During one of the matches, my elbow dislocated, but I kept going until the match ended and I became a legend, according to one of my schoolmates. I suppose I should mention I had never actually told my mom and stepdad I was wrestling. This is when they found out and they had to take me to the hospital. They did not approve because the church said fighting is a sin and they considered wrestling a form of fighting. This prompted me to sneak out for matches and tournaments because I really enjoyed it and I was good at it. I would return with medals and trophies, got in trouble, but I could also see pride in my mom's face. As a teen, I loved humor and music. I was a big fan of rap at the time, the likes of Run DMC, Rob Bass, MC Hammer. I would dream of becoming a rapper, even writing raps for school projects. I was very much into cholo culture and the lowriders and the oldies. In fact, for my final project in art class, I drew a replica of a magazine cover that had one of my favorite cars on it. It took me weeks to draw it because I literally drew every single leaf on that tree and spent an enormous amount of time and on shading. I returned home from school to find my little brother had helped me color it. I could have strangled the little shit. It's funny and adorable now, but not at all at the time. My room was always a tremendous mess. I loved to draw and never got rid of anything, so I had stacks and stacks of paper all over the place. My mom would come into my room and tell me to clean up that mess, that I looked like a pigsty, and I responded by saying none of that mattered because I was going to be a famous rock star. Who would have guessed I would have ended up in a Mexican metal band?
Limpiar